so cold. My glasses keep fogging, but I figure the glasses are gonna keep my eyes from just rivers of icy tears. God. I forgot to wear gloves, but I had to take Lilu out, and I thought if I walk, I'll freeze in place. If I run, I should be okay. It's so cold out there, but then when you come inside and it's all nice and warm in here, oh my gosh, you just feel like you're in a sauna almost. Oh. Whenever I do a fasted workout, I have to really stay on top of my meals for the rest of that day because otherwise I'm doomed. But doing a workout, like a weightlifting workout before eating, like fasted workout like that, you burn, like your metabolism is crazy all day, which is great for losing fat, but if you don't eat enough regularly to keep up with that metabolism, it's just bad news. On Instagram, I posted a picture of myself saying that I was channeling my inner teenager. Because when I looked at the photo, I really thought it looks like just a teenager who's got all the angst and attitude of a teenager. And that got me thinking about how I was as a teenager and what I felt and what I thought. And I really can clearly go back to that time in my life. Now, this is how I look at my life. As bad as it gets, I always think someone out there has had it worse and has gotten through it. And I don't know why that's such a mantra of mine that kind of really keeps me grounded, but it does. My experiences, other people would have begged for. So I understand that. Your experiences as you're growing up, you have nothing to compare that to. Your experiences are the worst and they're the best. You sometimes maybe understand that someone else's life is better or appears to be better than yours, but you can't say when you feel like your life is terrible as a young person, you usually don't have something to compare it to say it's not that bad. This kind of comes later in life. So I remember being a kid and things were not so easy. The greatest amount of suffering I ever went through was definitely that my sister died when I was 16 years old. So as a young person, as a teenager, I had experienced a fair amount of suffering, enough to feel like your world is ending and thinking that people around you have such better lives than you do. It's really difficult being young. If you're like 20 and younger, and you're in your teens and younger, it's not easy. It's really difficult, and I think part of the reason it's so difficult is because you just don't know. Like, no teenager goes, I really know who I am and what I'm destined to be and do in my life. And this uncertainty can be so unnerving. Some people maybe don't care. There are those people, I definitely have siblings like this, who are just great characters who just kind of go through life and they just figure it out as they go along and they enjoy it, or it's difficult, whatever. For me, the uncertainty in my life killed me. Like, it was a constant mental struggle. And I think that's one of the difficult things about being young, is that you don't know who you are. You don't know what that even means. And you you desperately want to know. And I think that the best way for you to begin to figure out who you are as a person is to do the things that you love to do. Things that get you excited. Things that make you come alive. And I'll also say that these should be good things. These should not be things like drugs and alcohol that probably feel good at the time or give you a good experience or whatever, but ultimately do not contribute to the ultimate goodness of your life. As a young person, you kind of have to do everything that you're doing on a daily basis. You have to get up in the morning. You have to go with your parents to this place or that place. You have to go to school. You have to go home from school. All those things that you have to do on a daily basis, somebody else is directing your path for you. And that really keeps you from figuring out who you are. Because in order for you to figure out who you are, you need to become independent and free thinking and be able to think for yourself. And when you're constantly guided and told where to go and what to do, you cannot think for yourself, or you do not think for yourself. So if you want to know who you are, or if you want to get to know yourself, do something that you want to do and don't let someone else tell you what that is. One of the best indicators to something that will make you happy or something that will help you discover who you are is doing something that gets you so involved and invested that you become so focused that you lose track of time. If this happens to you with doing anything, and I'm not talking like watching TV, I'm talking like you're doing art, you are creating something, working on math, whatever it is that you just all of a sudden zone in and forget about time, space, food, drink, pursue that. Because that is, if that something can capture your attention that thoroughly, that's something you should look into. Now, maybe that won't work out, but what you'll learn from it will help you discover who you are, what kind of person you are, what kind of person you're going to be or can be. I think another big thing for young people these days, and especially like the young people of today, the millennials, you're so labeled and told who you are. And I think that this is something that you can completely ignore. People will say millennials are this. If you're a millennial, you're like this. Oh, those millennials, they all do this. They're so entitled. If you fall into those categories or not, whatever. The point is, all throughout your life, something will never change, and that is people will tell you who you are. They'll tell you who they think you are, but they'll say it in a way that this is who you are. You do this. You're like this. And I want you to know that you don't have to listen to that, and that doesn't mean that's who you are. No one else can tell you who you are or who you're meant to be or who you can become better than you. Now, if you have absolutely no idea where to start to kind of look for your passion or just look for who you are, what you like, then I suggest you start reading books. If you don't like reading books, I understand. Maybe go to the library or go to a bookstore and just start looking through books until you find one that captures your attention. When you find something you're interested in, it will hold your attention. So I really suggest that you look for a good book, a book for everybody that's not a difficult book and that's not very long. Is called Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. And I think that is an excellent place to start if you are just a blank slate and have no idea what to do with your life. Because this will give you a broader picture for the meaning of life. First and foremost, something you can do before you even get a book, before you can do anything, is, I believe, starting with gratitude in your life will open doors for you that you never thought could open before. I know it sounds super cliche, like, oh, I'm so grateful. Oh, living in gratitude. I'm so blessed. #blessed. I know that sounds like super, super cliche, and in some ways it really is. I just know that for myself, whenever I've been stuck in life, whenever I've been in a negative space, starting with gratitude has always been the way through which the doors open, the windows open, and I can see out again. You may think, like, what do I say? Like, I literally start all the time. I'm so grateful that I'm here, that I'm awake, that I'm alive. I woke up today. That's a freaking miracle. I am so grateful that my family is alive, they're healthy, they're well, they love me, I love them. Even if you can't say that, there's somebody out there who cares about you. And even if you feel like no one cares about you, your life matters. Because one day you could be the person to change millions of lives, hundreds of lives. And if you change one life, it's enough. I hope this made sense. I hope that some of this made sense to somebody. I just thought I would put that out there because I really remember what it's like to be a young person and how it can be really difficult. Really difficult. I never want to go back to that point in my life. You're changing so much. Things are happening all the time around you that you can't explain, you can't reason, and it's okay. It will pass. Just make good decisions, become a better person, and life will be okay. Thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, please like it. If you liked me, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.